in all the teams that he's had. The bottom is an absolute freak for Jose Mourinho. He's always been second or first in terms of goal scoring. Always been second or first in scoring goals. And if you say to yourself, well, against top six, his goals against the top six, he's always been second or first. One season he was fourth, 2006. But this season is the freak. This season is the freak. This is probably the worst team that Jose Mourinho's managed, or the worst performing team that Jose Mourinho's managed in this last 10, 15 years of his career.
How do you I think when they do feel like they can beat someone, they go for it. So he's always had one of the best sides. He's managed all the top teams, so you'd expect him to score a lot of goals in the game.
Chelsea, you couldn't argue with the top team when he came.
Chelsea?
Yeah, they weren't the top team when he came.
They were one of the top teams.
They were one of the top teams.
The first time, they were second in the league.
Yeah, but if you look at this screen...
You think... You're talking about when he gets these players, what players are you talking about? He's got Paul Pogba, the most expensive player in the world. He's got Mkhitaryan. We've just seen Pogba in the Liverpool game.
Would you accept that 20... Would you accept he's got a squad of 24 and 20 of them are not his?
Mourinho was talking about the league at the... he was talking about the league at the start of the season. So why would you then be taking these tactics into these games?
Are you saying, Gary...
You said
a few points I need to pick up on there.
This season is not good enough in terms of league performance.
Yeah, is it because of them tactics it's not good enough?
No, I don't think it's because of the tactics at all. I don't think it's because of the tactics. Ultimately, they've not been good enough. No, because the games where they've dropped most points have been at home against the lesser teams. Bournemouth, Hull, Stoke, Burnley, West Brom. They've had about 25 shots in each of those games.
The record in big games isn't good, Joe.
I know, but where they've dropped most points and where they've been disastrous has been at home. They've dropped 10, 12 points at home against stupid teams. But just looking at this again, I would say, at the moment, the back six, I don't know why they're so deep, those wide players. Is it acceptable at Manchester United as a tactic? No. However...
They're there because he wants them.
No, hang on a second. At Chelsea, when he had a superior team, and I would expect, in 12 months' time, if we're still sat here, hopefully we are, that I would expect Manchester United's midfield to be there in big games away from home. I wouldn't expect them to be there.
So
and that's the difference. It's 15 yards further forward in the wide players.
I know, but what you're talking about these players as if, like, he's bought Mkhitaryan. He's playing at left back. We've just seen the Real Madrid, Barcelona. He's got Di Maria and Ronaldo.
You've chosen a game against Barcelona. Well,
you couldn't choose any other game in Spain.
Hang on. Barcelona, 2008 semi-final. I saw Rooney and Park playing in the back six for 180 minutes. Ronaldo was shoved up front because he wouldn't run back. Against Barcelona, you always change your tactics to suffer. He scored 100 goals, or whatever it was at Real Madrid. My view on it is that, at the moment, it's overly defensive. I'm not sure why they are in a back six. He doesn't trust his defenders, probably. But in 12 months' time, he'll have to shift that back six. Those two have got to shift 15 yards further up the pitch. They've got to be able to counter-attack from a deep position.
So to clarify, that's unacceptable. It's too defensive. He needs to make more signings. Is that going to be straightforward, Gary? Are the best attacking players in the world, and that's what you're suggesting they might need, going to want to play for Manchester United when they see a game like that on Sunday? I mean, there was a report in L'Equipe that Mbappe has already been put off by United style.
I would say that I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Liverpool manager a few years ago said then when they weren't in the Champions League, they wouldn't attract players. They have. Manchester United have the largest chequebook at the moment in the world in terms of fees. Jose Mourinho has been unbelievable in the transfer market over the years. You've got to accept that. Getting 45 million back for Schneiderlin and Depay. Maybe if De Gea leaves, it'll be 60, 70 million quid. He's probably going to have 200 million quid to spend. He's only signed 4 players at Manchester United. 4 players in one transfer window. I think give him one more transfer window, and if he's still playing a back six in all those games next season, I'd be sat here saying, no, I don't think that's right. It isn't right. But at the moment, if they win 2 trophies this season and get to next season with 4 or 5 more signings in and still playing that way, I would have a question, because I think they have to entertain Manchester United. But at the moment, I think we can forgive it because of the fact that he doesn't have full confidence in his squad.
But the players you're talking about signing 4 players, of course, the whole squad's not his. But the 4 players he's signed, there's 3 of them attacking players. So you're talking about when they get better players in attacking positions, they'll play higher up. But you've got Mkhitaryan, you've got Pogba, you've got Zlatan.
But Pogba and Zlatan weren't even playing yesterday.
Well, I just showed you the Liverpool game.
He made 8 changes.
I showed you the Liverpool game and they were playing early on the season.
That earlier in the season, when they went to the Liverpool game, they were under big pressure, they weren't playing well and it was a disaster. They were all over the place. They'd lost all those games. They were dropping points. Do
you think Jose would go what you associate with Manchester United? I mean, listen, I'm not criticising Jose Mourinho. He changes things. He does different things.
The style,
and
generally he wins.
I feel the style is a lot better this season than last season, personally. For me, not for me personally, as a Manchester United. What I would say is that when he went open against City, they got battered, and I think that's where he shut up shop in big games from then, because he thought, we're not good enough to take on these teams punch for punch.
Would you expect,
and he has retracted.
after work that he does in the summer, and grant him another transfer window, that Manchester United will be challenging for the title next season? As we stand, they're 16 points behind Chelsea.
I thought they should challenge for the title this season. So it's unacceptable. The performance in the league this season is unacceptable. Dropping all those points at home. There's 12 points that I can point towards at home that would have them close to Chelsea. And yes, they have to get the wide players 15, 20 yards further up the pitch in big matches against City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal. They were too deep. They're not even close enough to counter-attack. The centre-forward becomes isolated. It's not good. But in his first season, when he's obviously found the squad's not as good as he thought it would be, he's only had 4 players to bring in. He deserves another 12 months to be able to get it. I don't think he was ever like that with Robin and Duff at Chelsea first time round, or Hazard and Willian at Chelsea. They were never that deep. They were always sort of compact, but they were never that deep.
Yeah, but we're talking about it's not just that. That's what we showed in there. There's different ways of nullifying teams. I think whenever he goes away from home, he'll always look to stop the opposition. I mean, you look at that stat not scoring away. The only team in the league. That can't be right for Manchester, and that comes from the manager's tactics and the setup.
No, but if you look historically, what I'm saying to you, I agree with you. This year's nowhere near good enough.
Yeah, but you're talking as if like, the worst players in the world. He's signed Mkhitaryan, he's got Pogba, he's got Mata, he's got Martial, he's got Rashford, the best young player in the country. How can you not score in them games?
Zlatan's injured. Pogba, to be fair, well, Zlatan's a good season. You called him player of the year the other week.
I know, and he still hasn't scored in them games with him.
No, but what I'm saying to you is that ultimately, historically, he's always got it right. Historically, looking at his record in those games, he's always got it right. So what I would say is, he's found that the squad is nowhere near as good enough as he thought it would be. How they've not won some of those games at home is ridiculous. I do agree, they're 15 yards too deep, those wide players in away games. They're 15 yards too deep. 15 yards further up the pitch against City last week, against Chelsea away from home, Liverpool away from home, and against Arsenal yesterday. And I think you'd have a good shape. That's what we saw for Chelsea against City, where Hazard and Ramirez, I think, were in the correct positions.
It's good to talk, boys. It's good to get it out there. It's been brewing for weeks.
He likes Jose Mourinho.
I know he does. He says he's a winner. You do like him, don't you?
Yeah.